there's some things that have been coming in from chat again here, which I'm going to remark on a few items here, and also just to explain what's going to happen next, if this is okay with you. So, folks, we've had a different format today. This is more of an interview and answer from which I think it's gone very well, and you've also contributed through the questions, through some people have IM'd me some things, and also have come through via the nearby chat here, which we put out. And I really offered this to Erez as an opportunity for him to talk about his own practice as well. And I thought, well, while doing that, I would just like to extend out to you all. I think this has worked quite well for us, so I'm thinking maybe to keep this as a weekly thing here, around the same sort of time, sort of 2-ish p.m. SL times ish, where we always interview someone or bring them in onto the kind of hotspot here, and I'll give them not a cross examination, but you can say is that cross? Well, not a cross examination, but more just like an not or interrogation is also not the word, but just like ask you some questions, I think is the right word. And
I'm sure you'll find the right formulation for that. Yeah. I can assure you, putting someone on the hotspot sounds very dangerous.
Hotspot's coming up. Yeah, you're sitting on the hotspot, especially put this table here for that very reason. Yeah. You're sitting on it. It took me a little while. For some reason, people kept sitting and clicking on my animation. I don't know who the hell they were. And then I had to reseat myself. So in this video, I'm looking ridiculous. And also, I've got my winter breath turned on. And I've got a nice summery background, so I'm constantly chain smoking. It looks ridiculous. But anyway, this is what happens in the Avatar world. So if people want to be part of this sort of like weekly thing, please message me. And we can have this with you as well, and you can talk about yourself and whatever you're kind of representing. Now, a few things that was said.
Can put you on the hot spot.
On the hot spot, exactly, or the ice spot is also the other side of it now. Right. Now, Sedona asked me, does this happen weekly? Okay, in my IM, she says, does this happen weekly? Which is a good question. Thank you, Sedona. She reminded me to turn off my winter breath, and thanks for that. I couldn't do it because I'm filming the screen. So so what I thought I'd ask you is this something you would like to do here weekly, or would you now want to talk about maybe the stuff you do offline and in world, which and your real life and your course? You've got this great idea of a course you want to do. Tell us about that and how you'd like to do this. All yours.
Okay, so yeah, to answer that question, this nature of the soul class that I'm offering here is rather something that is happening out of Second Life because, you know, when we're in Second Life, we know that it is full of distractions. There's a million things happening. We get IMs from everywhere. Somebody's asking us this and that. Then there's a blue note dropping in and we think, oh, I wanted to be there whatsoever. Since, yeah, this is how it is, isn't it? Yeah. And since this is a bit more serious material, I will take this definitely out of Second Life into another video conferencing system where the class will not be disrupted by you know, so much astral force coming in.
Astral exactly IMs, astral notices, astral animations and gestures, yes.
Yeah. Which is all fine and dandy as long as we're in Second Life. But, you know, if we set our minds to a more serious goal, then we probably might want to create a more sufficient surrounding. Now, so this is not something that will happen here, but let me talk about this online class for a little bit. This school is pretty much a well-rounded system that introduces the new student into this ageless wisdom that we've been talking about. And the things that are brought forth here are parts of that. There, of course, is much more to be learned. And this is just a general, even this one-year class is rather a general overview, which gives you an idea where to look into certain fields that you find yourself interested in.
Yeah.
So this is an online class that will happen in a different system, and it will not only teach the student, the earnest student, I have to say, teach the student, for example, those laws that we've been talking about, and much more than 3 that I just mentioned here, and give them an insight about how they can understand themselves and their life and everyone involved on different in a different perspective than we usually do, because we usually understand our life from the perspective of what we formerly um, um, understood as the eye that we're pointing to from the level of our persona. So one of these main things is that of the main things of this class is that you learn to see your life in the context of the overshadowing spiritual soul,
Mhm.
which is where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It gives you certain techniques, a lot of techniques. There's 40 chapters to this, and altogether, I think there are probably 30 techniques or so that are meditation techniques that are being taught. It gives you certain techniques how you can foster this relationship between your indwelling soul and your overshadowing spiritual soul
Yeah.
through meditation.
Mm.
Um, and it as well, uh, or let's say it's starting with the point that we formerly spoke about, the integration of the three bodies into the Ajna center. That is where you start. And yeah, well, later on, of course, it's getting more complex, but it requires, yeah, some practical application, because it's not just the theory, and this is the important part of it. It's not just theory. It's not just stuff that you learn and that you can talk about and have philosophy circles about it. This is rather stuff that you apply in your life on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And so through meditation, you learn how to do that. Through meditation, you learn to integrate those three bodies and to become more and more independent of your emotions, not with the aim to get rid of any emotions or something, just to be able to integrate them, that they are not the ones who are steering your life, but you get the chance to make your own decisions and act according to the plan that you understand is the plan of your overshadowing spiritual soul for you and for your surrounding. So this is what this class does. If I may say it right now, the class is free. If you
Oh,
touch this
it's great.
particular,
Hmm.
that's a very important thing. If you touch the
Thank you. Yeah.
screen, the poster that is hanging over me, behind me, then you should get a note card which should give you sufficient information how and where to sign up. As I said, it's a class that is running on a weekly basis on a different video conferencing system. It is a free class, and it is offered to everyone who is wanting to bring their life, their spiritual life, to a different level and want to invest themselves deeper into the spirituality that some of us are looking for
Yeah.
and are having difficulties finding it, because there are so many different things, so many paths out there that appear to be so different. But the truth of the matter is that they all immerse into one particular path. And as I said, if you can abstract this from all the various things, then you suddenly start to see more clear what's the next step for you personally to do. And this nature of the soul class will certainly help you to sort out that. And as well, uh, it will bring pretty much everything that you learned so far into uh, a perspective that where suddenly everything makes sense. All of those little things that
Yeah.
happened where you were wondering, okay, yeah, there is that, but I don't know what that means. Many of those will be put in a proper perspective, and you will be able to move on in your life in a much more sufficient matter as for the spirit of aspiration, as you are able. Most of us are able at this point in time.
Can I ask a question actually, Aaron? It's very generous of you to offer this class for free to everybody. So what I've been doing is I've just put in the main chat that if you're interested in this session, please can you click the board behind me with that lovely diagram on it, Nature of the Soul, and it will give you a note card. And if you're interested, email wisdomstudent127@gmail.com. It's a very rare opportunity to get Asia's wisdom given across to you for free, and given the benefit of virtual spaces, you can connect to these conference softwares. We use them as well where I work. I certainly want to use them more with this type of approach too. So it's a great opportunity to take. If you could look at the board and grab that, or just email that email address in the main chat there, then you can find out more about this wonderful course, and you learn more about this type of thing. How regular is your course? Is it weekly?
Yeah, it will be on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
It most likely will be on a weekend because we have a
Yeah.
mixed group of US students.
Of course. Yeah.
Of
I know,
what
EU.
what does US stand for? It's
Well,
America, right?
United
So it's
States.
American students.
You got United States. Yeah, United States. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking United Nations. What the heck is it called? I have this blank space that we all know
United
so well.
Nations. Well, that's a whole other time zone.
Anyway, so we have American students and European students. Hence, this
Thanks for
will
including
be
us.
Hence, this will be a mixed class, and for that very reason,
Yeah.
it will be on a weekend. We haven't decided whether it's going to be a Saturday or a Sunday. This is something that I leave open to the class people, especially which time is most suitable for
Yeah.
everyone. You know, this is
I know.
part of the group process
Tricky.
to find the right time slot.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a work, but you know, it's better than me saying, okay, we do this then, and nobody can appear at that particular time. It doesn't make sense. So
Sure.
and so yeah, this is on a weekly basis. It's a continuous class.
Yeah.
So it's something that you should you know,
Weekly.
think about a little bit,
Yeah.
and then you know, you might want to sign up for it and make your mind that you are trying to stick with it as long as you
Sure.
can, and then you come regularly. It doesn't make sense to drop in, I don't know, at lesson 14 or something like that, because we will have
Miss stuff. Yeah.
built basics that we will use furthermore, and you will not be able to follow. So it's something that
Yeah.
you start in the beginning and you go as far as you can. If you sign up, there is no sign up for your lifetime contract with your blood or something like that. It's none of these
Phew, thank God for
ridiculous
that.
things. It's
Gonna be very spiritual,
yeah.
wouldn't
There are groups that are doing this kind of
I
thing.
know, yeah.
So this is a very free and open class, and you can come and you just stay as long as you learn and have the feeling that you are really benefiting from it. And when you have reached your personal fill, then of course you're free to go at any time.
Mhm.
But it's a regular thing, and you know, you should start in the beginning and go as far as you can.
Having just said the class was free, I'd just say thanks for the tips. Just put into the jar there. Tips much appreciated, folks. If you want to tip in, you're welcome to. I will certainly tie the chunk of it over to our presenter today. And these free classes, we'll be really keen to hear about it, Era. So when you get your timing organised, please can you let me know, and I'll communicate it out to people here also so they know about it. Just do it as a note card. Say we're presenting, we're going to begin, and the start date, and then how to connect will be great. How to connect up to it and how to enroll.
Well,
and register.
connect through the email that's given in the note card. That is wisdomstudent127@gmail.com.
Yes, gotcha. That's the best way of getting an interest in you, and then that's fine. And that's and you're going to coordinate those inquiries and then let those people know yourself at that point onwards.
Right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Right. It's been great. I mean, Asia's Wisdom, in terms of pointers, there are a few web links out there for this sort of stuff. So there's some stuff about it, but I mean, do you have a website of your own?
No, I don't have a website of my own.
Okay. No problem.
But you know, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, then you can always look up Lucy's Trust.
Lucy's
they're
Trust.
Publishing they're publishing the Bailey books, which is you know, basically telling the whole story in 24 books, which is a little bit long, but
yes.
Yeah, if you want to read about that, this is your place.
Alice Bailey, isn't it? It's Alice Bailey's books.
Alice Bailey, yeah, that's Alice Bailey's books, yeah.
And the most well-known Alice Bailey book you'd recommend, which one would that be?
Well, the one to start with usually is said to be Telepathy and the Etheric Body.
Oh, okay. Telepathy and the Etheric Body. Just write that in the main chat there.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's a good starting point. Well, telepathy, that's a good subject, isn't it? Some very good comments made in chat there by some of the people. I couldn't read them all out, but I think Moss has left now. But she did say something along the lines of, if I can pick it up, was a very interesting point that she made. Why does it feel so good when we connect with people on the same level? Like, why isn't it more attractive to connect with someone who's completely different spirituality to you? That's a very good point. I mean, when you sort of have a spiritual view, and then you share it with someone, and like they kind of bounce it back at you, and it's like the same thing, or it's a mirror or connection, or a mutual understanding is there, and then it kind of becomes really a really nice glow. But when someone sort of comes back at you, and there's a bit of a reaction, and they say, "No, I don't believe that. That's just nonsense." Like if you go to someone and say, "Oh, I had an extraterrestrial in my dream the other night, and blah 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 blah," and the person says to you, "I don't believe in aliens. It's no rubbish." It just shuts you down. But no, but being open to all views, I guess, is obviously the best way to be, isn't it? I suppose. But then, yeah, I mean, it's interesting she was saying about it. It gives you people prefer to connect with people spiritually who have of like mind, you could say, or like type of mind, and that's the thing about group consciousness, isn't it? So
Yeah, remember, I was about to say, remember that like attracts alike. And
yeah,
that is, consciousness is attracting its very own unto itself,
yeah,
because it's a matter of magnetic resonance. If you think about a musical instrument, for example, a harp, and you pluck whatsoever a C string, then the other C strings will resonate because they are of the same frequency. So people who are like-minded, of course, will much easier find each other and connect each other because they are already connected, in fact. Yeah.
yeah,
And so it feels, of course, much better than someone who brings an entirely different vibration,
mm,
because, and this as well is easy to explain, um, usually the place where we are and how we are,
yeah,
and what we believe, what we think, what we feel, and so forth,
yeah,
these are, let's say, these are thought forms that we have,
mm,
and they might be around since a certain time. So they already have their established life. And the thing with a form is it doesn't really want to change so much.
yes,
Form itself likes to stay the same thing as it is.
mm,
Um, Usually because every different motion means change. If you think
yes,
about a boat, for example, on the ocean, like a huge tanker or something like that, it goes into a certain direction, and it takes an enormous energy, an enormous time to make a change in direction once this boat is going.
yeah,
So this is, I think, the fourth law of
mm,
Newton's
sure,
law of motion, that things like to stay the way they are. Yeah, and hence this process of going out and getting new information or getting new impulses, that requires a certain mindset and a certain action that you have to bring forth to overcome this direction that you're already in, this status quo that you hold. If you want to overcome that, you have to bring in the energy to step over that border that is yourself and find something new that as of yet is not yourself,
mm,
which is the thing that, makes all the birth pain, all the growth pain on
yeah,
our spiritual path.
gotcha. Well, just as some people are just nudging me on the time here as well. It's been excellent to have you present today. Some people have got some questions about your class, like maybe how long it might be and so on. You might still be developing and designing that, and maybe if you can answer those things. I'm going to come off voice myself now and just pause the video, okay? So I'm just going to stop the
Yeah.
recording at this point now. Right, here we go. Now I'm off.
Thank you.